But one way or another, he said the same thing they all say. Well, if the right situation presents itself. But then he's a Jones, so he's got to throw in. But we're making a championship run this year, which at least makes it a little bit of fun. Okay, let's start with the Cowboys. They made a move last week. Should we expect anything more from them today?
I mean, look, I think they're looking around, but the Cowboys think they're good, and I think they're right. So if you make a move, it has to upgrade you. Like if you think, we're going to go get a wide receiver, but we also have James Washington coming back, who we liked in the offseason. Like if you're going to trade for somebody who's a lot better than James Washington, fair. That's fine. But I don't know that they're going to just go out there to make. They did make a move last week to get the D tackle, Jonathan Hankins. That fills a need. He played well on Sunday. So I think they'd be open to upgrades, but I think it has to be an upgrade.
So if someone like me were to say the Cowboys, as constituted, based in particular on what we saw from that offense on Sunday against Chicago, look like a Super Bowl team right now, what would someone like you say?
Oh, I'd say 100%. You're correct. They do look like a Super Bowl contender. They figured it out at the running back position, running the ball through those two guys, not putting too much on Dak Prescott. And he can be a game manager for like half of their games for the rest of the season, and they're going to win them. They scored 42 points on offense in this past game, 49 total because obviously Micah Parsons had the return for a touchdown. But that's a lot of points for a Cowboys team that had only scored 41 in the previous two combined. So I think they have figured it out. I'm actually extremely proud of Mike McCarthy and Kellen Moore because these two guys have wanted to throw the football every stop they've ever been. Obviously, Kellen's only been in Dallas, but back in college, he was a toss it around all over the field type of guy, and he brought that mentality to the boys. I'm glad that they learned that the best thing for their team this year is to run the football.
And let's circle back to something that we said before the break, and we heard it yesterday, and you see the numbers at the bottom of your screen, Pollard and Elliott. A lot of calls for Tony Pollard after the explosive day on Sunday to become the lead back. Make him your starter. You like that idea?
Absolutely not. That's why you can't have nice things in Dallas, because you always want to screw stuff up. Thank God Jerry is a voice of reason, and we know he always is, because he told the people what they needed to hear. This thing goes through Ezekiel Elliott. I am not saying that Pollard isn't more explosive than Ezekiel Elliott. I'm not saying he's not a good running back. He deserves to be paid, all of those things. But you do not disrupt your locker room when things are going this well. And by the way, Elliott will be a ground and pound type back. He will make plays for you. And it does go through Elliott, and then Pollard is the other guy. I talked to Swagoo yesterday on this. He's telling me to put Pollard. No. Let Pollard be what he is, an explosive running back when he gets his touches. But you're going to have both anyway. Don't mess it up. Thank goodness for Jerry Jones.
RG3. It's a fascinating way of putting that. RG3. How many touches a game should Tony Pollard be getting?
I think he should be getting 20 touches a game. But my man Jeff Saturday said it exactly right. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right now, Zeke is the guy that takes the brunt of all the issues, right? He's averaging 4 yards a carry or something like that. But Pollard in the game, I can go through and tell you how many carries he's had throughout the season, but that doesn't matter. What matters is, in this last game, 14 carries, that's the most in his career. 14 carries. Don't try to load him up and give him the ball 20, 25 times and then be upset when he's not the same guy down the stretch in the playoffs.
That's the point.
That is the thing, and I'm not saying he can't handle it. I'm saying this year, for what the Cowboys are doing.
For the betterment of the team.
For the betterment of the team, do not change the recipe. It has just the right season.
He's been on their team for 4 years. Like, they know who he is, and they know how to get the most out of him. 14 carries is a real nice number for him. He can thrive at that number. If you start getting it to 20, 25, you don't know what's going to happen. So it's working with the two of them. I would go right back to
And let me ask one more question about them before we get to the pancakes. How about Dak? All these questions. What did you see from him on Sunday?
He's 3 weeks ahead of schedule. And I mean that in all sincerity. Like, I did not expect, and you talked about the points and the differential, all those things. He threw 2 off-target throws out of 27. He just had his thumb in pins in a cast, came off 1 week where he was a little sluggish, and then lit it up against the Bears. Saw the field well, and everybody's giving Kellen Moore a ton of credit. Great, he should. When you throw 25 of 27 balls on target in the NFL, you are doing something. Dak Prescott is way ahead of where I expected him. And again, part of the reason why you're saying this is going to be a Super Bowl contender is because when he gets back in the rhythm, he gets back this fast, this is a team that will push everybody. Second best team in the NFC right now.
Behind Philadelphia.
And keep going this way, could be pushing that thing as well.
We'll see. Philly still has to come to Dallas later in the season. It's actually the only game our analytics don't favor the Eagles to win. So it's going to be fascinating. Suddenly, the NFC East is clearly the best division in the NFL. Okay, all of this, I think, has sort of set the table and given us an appetite. It's time to serve up the pancakes. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.